It's 6:30 a.m., and while most sane people are still negotiating with their alarm clocks, we're already halfway up a Swiss mountain. Welcome to the Sunday morning hiking club, where sleep is optional, but coffee is mandatory. Today's plan? A ridge hike near Piz Beverin. Not a big summit itself, because sometimes the best views aren't from the tallest peaks, sometimes they're from the path in between. Also, 2,989 meters is, a lot of stairs. The sunrise paints Graubünden like it's showing off. Golden ridges, long shadows, valleys still asleep. And you realize this is the part you can't buy. This is why we set alarms that make absolutely no sense at all. So we start in Tschappina, a tiny village tucked away in Graubünden. It's the kind of place where life still moves at the pace of cowbells, and the streets are more likely to be blocked by goats than by traffic. The air is sharp, the houses darkened by centuries of alpine weather, and you get the feeling that nothing here is in a rush, which is really nice actually. As we shoulder our backpacks and hit the first incline, the world behind us is still half asleep. Up here though, the day is already wide awake, and the mountains don't wait for anyone. Even if the mountains don't wait for anyone, we did. First, because it's hard not to pause by the sheep grazing lazily on the hillside, and then again by the cows, watching us as if we were the strangers up here. Life in the Alps runs on its own timeline, and sometimes the schedule simply says pause and enjoy the company. The trail pulls us into an enchanted forest. Everything here is soaked in green, moss on the rocks, light dripping through the branches, the kind of place where you half expect a fairy to hand you a hiking map. It's calm, quiet, and just a little bit magical. By the time we step out of the trees, the path opens up, and there it is, the start of the grazing ridge. The real adventure begins here. So we start climbing toward the grazing, the kind of ridge that looks like it was designed to make hikers feel really dramatic. On the one side, you have the Tschappina, remote and wild, and yet really, really beautiful. On the other side, you have the Domleschg Valley, with orchards, castles, and villages that look like they came out of a medieval board game. Between them, us, slowly questioning why our hobbies involve so much uphill. This is what the Sunday morning hiking club is about. Not about breaking records or chasing summits. It's about these in-between places where the landscape stretches out and you feel both tiny and infinite at the same time. A reminder that Sundays don't just have to be the last gasp of the weekend. They can be a story you'll actually remember. The ridge itself is worth every step. Narrow, exposed, the kind of trail where you keep saying, just one more photo, and then 20 minutes later your camera roll looks like a National Geographic internship. Left, right, behind you, ahead of you, every direction is a postcard. And the best part, hardly anyone else is here. It feels like the mountain decided to keep this little slice of drama just for us, and we really enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, it's not all poetry and panoramas. 4.5 hours of hiking means sweat, burning legs, and a few minutes of why am I doing this again? But then you turn a corner and the mountains remind you exactly why. By now, hunger hit like gravity, and just when we started thinking about sandwiches, a mountain restaurant appeared. as if the Alps had read our minds. Bündnerfleisch, cheese, fresh bread, everything tastes better up here. Maybe it's the air, or maybe it's just the miles earned. After lunch, with our energy restored, we began making our way back down the mountain. The trail opened into wide pastures, and soon we were surrounded again by cows, calmly grazing, their bells ringing softly through the warm afternoon air. With every few steps, a new angle of the valley revealed itself, stretching far beyond where we had started that morning. The light slowly turned golden, wrapping the landscape in that quiet, late-day calm that always feels a little like gratitude. Then, just as the path curved along a rocky slope, a marmot appeared, curious, cautious, standing tall for a second before vanishing into the grass. No ibex today, just a small garden of the Alps, reminding us that not every highlight has to be grand to be meaningful. This plant is called Epilobium angustifolium, and it's glowing in late summer pink against the green. Another herd of cows watched us pass, their bells echoing faintly through the valley, a steady soundtrack to the descent. By now, the afternoon had settled in, and with tired legs but light hearts, we made our way back toward Tschappina. Just before the village, we heard a quick rustling in the trees, and it caught our eye. A lovely squirrel darting from branch to branch, as if to wave us off. And that was our rich hike near Piz Beverin. Not the highest summit, not the hardest climb, but a day full of small encounters that remind us why we hike in the first place. For the views, yes, but also for the moments in between. Thanks for joining the Sunday Morning Hiking Club. Until next time, may your trails be steady, your coffee strong, and your mornings just a little earlier than most.